Welcome to the limestone coast, a land carved by 450 million years of time, where the sea sculpted the stone. Ancient species have come and gone, and one of Earth's oldest cultures continues to thrive. Stretching from the Coorong right through to the Victorian border, the limestone coast is a journey through some of Australia's most unique and diverse terrain. Nowhere is this made more clear than Mount Gambier, where giant sinkholes and crater lakes sit side by side with banks, cafes, or in the case of my destination today, sheep farms. A short drive out of town, Kilsby Sinkhole has scuba and free divers visiting from across the world for the unforgettable experience of diving a sinkhole. Today, that's exactly what I'll be doing. But first up, I better pay a visit to Graham Kilsby, the man fortunate enough to grow up with the sinkhole in his backyard. Graham?
Mark.
Hey.
Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you as well. I've been very excited to come out here.
Yeah, well, welcome to Kilsby Sinkhole.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been on the lookout for some of Australia's greatest dive sites. It's brought me all the way to a farm. What do you got going on in your backyard?
Oh, we've got this little hole out the back here and filled with crystal clear water, and it is probably one of the best dive sites in Australia.
Sounds spectacular.
Well, let's go and have a look.
Let's do it.
Well, here it is.
Oh, Graham, that's unbelievable. I thought you said it was a little hole. This ain't a little hole, mate.
What we're seeing when we look at the site here is only about a third of the sinkhole itself. So there's quite a bit of the sinkhole we don't see. That's directly behind me. Does it get down to a depth of roughly about 70 metres, and the shallowest parts of the sinkhole's roughly about 12. Fresh water. This is the underground water table that you see. This is basically across our region. So it's not really a limestone structure holding water, it's just our underground water table that we're viewing. It is the only sinkhole in Australia where if you have your open water certification, you can dive the ocean. You can actually come here and dive the lake area of the sinkhole with a guide.
It's truly remarkable. I've never seen anything like this, Graham. How does something like this form?
The limestone has been laid down by the ocean over millions of years. So where we are here, we have 200 to 300 metres of limestone. So obviously the ocean was here for a very long time to lay that down as rock or sediment. So then we have the volcanoes. We have Mount Gambier, the Blue Lake.
Yes.
Just over here we have a smaller volcano called Mount Chank. Mount Chank's actually the youngest volcano in Australia. When these volcanoes were erupting a lot of years ago, probably that 3,500 years ago, they were giving off a gas, and in that gas there was a thing called carbonic acid. And these sinkholes were being formed from beneath upwards. So you're almost sort of like a bell.
Yes.
And then in some cases the roof then becomes thin and heavy and collapses in.
Right.
And so that's why we refer to them as sinkholes.
Yeah.
And we do know that that actually happened here. When we scuba dive it, we can see the broken roof laying on the bottom. So we do know that it was the last thing that actually happened. You could almost say throughout this region, the underground is a little bit like Swiss cheese.
Yes.
There's a lot of sinkholes beneath the surface that we don't see, that haven't broken through.
It's extremely porous country. It was
Very much
very
from
cavernous.
from that gas.
From all that volcanic activity.
Yeah. There is 18 diveable sinkholes in the region. So, you know, 95% of all Australian sinkholes are in our region. If you head over to the gate over here, Damien will meet you and take you for that dive.
Damien.
Mark, g'day, mate.
Hey, mate, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Very well, very excited to be here. This
Excellent.
looks spectacular.
Mate, we've got some awesome weather for this.
Oh, wow.
Don't we?
Graham sent me down to meet you. This is my first ever cave diving experience.
Excellent.
So what can I expect?
Mate, crystal clear water is probably the first thing you're going to notice.
Yeah.
The colour, you can see the water is just a beautiful blue colour.
Stunning.
And we've got that sunlight coming down,
Yeah.
beautiful beam, fantastic weather. Mount Gambier's really turned it on. Graham's really turned it on.
I've only just gotten to water level, but even from going from the surface down into the cavern here, I can feel that drop in temperature. Is that an indication of the water temp?
It is.
Yes.
It is going to be a bit cooler than maybe what you're used to. It's about 15.
Okay,
So,
yep, all right.
but you will be in a 7mm wetsuit. You'll have gloves, you'll have a hood, you'll be nice and toasty and warm.
Yeah, wicked.
Absolutely.
Very different thing to the ocean, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So in the ocean, you've got current, you've got critters. Here, it's almost a very benign environment.
Yes.
Very still, crystal clear. There's no current, nothing to worry about. Nothing that's going to chase you, apart from maybe a turtle, but he's friendly.
We're a resident turtle.
Resident turtle.
I'll keep an eye out.
Your buoyancy, you'll notice your buoyancy will be a little different.
Right.
In here, you'll feel heavier.
Yep.
So we use a bit less weight than we do in the ocean, just because the fresh water's less dense than the salt water.
I should have skipped breakfast then.
So for somebody to experience for the first time, it's a pretty incredible sensation or feeling. And we see that on so many faces of snorkelers or divers, or it's that first look when we have a snorkeling tour and somebody hops into the water and looks down. Some of the things that are said are quite funny. So it is a very beautiful experience for somebody that does it the first time. And what we find, and it seems funny how we have so many people that continually coming back and back and back.
How are you feeling? You ready?
Oh man, I'm so excited.
Excellent. It's going to be good.
Let's do it.
When cave divers dive here, or when divers dive here, they do say the sensation is the closest thing to flying. Because the water is so crystal clear, it feels that you're just suspended in air. The thing that is so beautiful is the light rays that we get, and those light rays change throughout the day. So whether it's early morning or whether it's late afternoon, the sinkhole does change. It's never the same, even for all the years that I've been coming, just whether it's light or lack of light. Or another great thing is to actually be snorkeling when it's raining and raining heavily. It's a beautiful experience to see these raindrops bouncing off that crystal clear water. You can have a mask on, you can see everything above, but you can also see everything below. But basically, you're diving in a very ancient created sinkhole. So it is so very unusual to, any other dive that you may do, whether that's in the ocean or in a freshwater environment.
Whoa!
How was that?
Oh. I feel like I'm returning to Earth.
It feels like it, doesn't it?
So how deep did we go?
About 23 metres.
23 metres, yeah.
23 metres.
When you're in there and you're down in that space, it's so hard to tell
It does.
depth.
It is. You do not realise how deep you are, especially with the crystal clear water.
Yeah.
We were playing in the sunbeam. Couldn't tell where you were.
No, there's a moment where I sort of looked and I was like, oh, there's the surface. And then I went a little bit lower and then I looked up again and I was just like, whoa, we're right in it now.
Exactly.
Oh, man. It is. It's like being in another world, isn't it?
It is, and you're just like flying.
Yeah. This is my first cave dive. I can tell you right now, it's not going to be my last.
Excellent.
So you might be seeing me again, mate.
Perfect. Excellent. I look forward to it.
Look, there's our resident tortoise.
Yes.
Yeah.
There it
Teddy.
is.
Oh.
Didn't go for a swim this afternoon, unfortunately.
No, she's soaking up the sunny rays.
Yeah.
That was one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life, and I'm so glad I had the opportunity to do it. My grandfather was a diver, and diving's been a huge thing in my family and my heritage. The pearl divers we come from up in the Kimberleys. But this is such a unique experience. This is really, really special. I remember when I was like 10, 15 years ago when I was young, when I was so young, and I learnt about the whole, like just the concept of cave diving. And I heard about cenotes for the first time and the caves in Mexico. Then I found out they had them here in Australia. And ever since then, I've just, I've been obsessed and wanting, I knew one day I'd come and do it, and today's that day.
I mean, must have been pretty cool to grow up here as a kid.
It was very cool to grow up here as a kid. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Were you allowed to just come jumping here whenever you like?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I don't think my parents really knew where we were.
Ah, you sneak off. I mean, it's a pretty cool playground for someone living on a farm, I tell you. Your family's watched over it for quite some time. You've seen changes here as well?
Yeah, we have, and we've seen big changes.
Yeah.
Just for an example, this measuring stick on the wall, the water table used to be more than halfway, so where that 12.5 is where the water table used to be.
So when you were a boy, that's what you remember?
Yeah, absolutely.
12.5?
Yeah. So that is a massive drop across our whole region.
3.5 metres over what, 40 years?
No, that's only over sort of 22 years.
Over the last 22 years?
Yeah.
That's
So-
quite quick. No, and it hasn't risen, there's no recharge, you see?
We do have times when the water table does come up, but the next drop is lower.
Yep.
So it's almost like it's falling.
Yes.
So we have recharge through wet winters where it does rise.
Yes.
But then generally the next fall is lower.
Yeah.
So
what does that tell you?
I'm a farmer, I'm an irrigator.
Yes.
We're taking more than what's being put back. So this region, this whole water system relies on rainfall. So what we're doing is we're taking more than what is being put back. And a lot of us are concerned that we have to start looking at our water table and making some decisions on, how far are we able to take it before we see major issues, and some of those major issues may not be reversed. The thing is that we have lost other places like Piccaninny Ponds was one of the best dive sites in Australia.
Yeah.
It has now been closed for 4 years due to low water flows. Are we going to accept these losses, or are we going to try and change our ways a little bit and try and bring them back to life?
Yeah, yeah.
But this really isn't any different to a river system. It's simply that most people don't see it.
Yeah.
That it relies on rainfall to hold water. And I think, for a lot of people, they don't see what I'm seeing, so it's hard to imagine. But if you look at a river system and it's low, irrigators and people can understand why we can't keep taking water if it's not there.
Yeah.
I know that we have a lot of water here. We can see that. But we have to keep this underground water table to a level on our coastline.
Yep.
This region is all about our water. It's everything is about the water.
Yeah.
And, we just need to take that, we need to care for it a little better and have more respect for it, I think. I just hope we're not getting too late.
Well, this was one of the most incredible days I've ever had, and I know I'll definitely be back. Thanks heaps, Scrum.
Thank you.
Beautiful
Thanks,
place, yeah.
Cheers.